Hey, what is going on, everyone? I hope that you all are doing well. Just wanted to talk about a Dave Ramsey video I watched earlier, and it was basically a caller asking how to leave a toxic work environment. Now, toxic work environments, I believe, is something that most people have been through at one point in time. Some of you all are working at a toxic workplace right now. Some of you all have worked at toxic workplaces in the past. Anybody will tell you, if you are working at a toxic work environment, that the pay doesn't necessarily make you any happier being at that job. Now, the pay is probably one of those things that will keep you in that position, but think about it. If you are being poisoned every day and it is something that is really bothering your soul every day, the paycheck isn't necessarily going to change that. Once again, the paycheck is probably the one thing that's going to keep you at that position, keep you in that job, but the paycheck isn't going to make that job any less toxic. So this caller is asking basically how to get out of that toxic environment. I think a lot of time we are hindered when we are getting really good money in toxic work environments, because that is the one thing that we're holding on to. Like, I would be gone in a heartbeat if I wasn't getting whatever that amount of money is. We've all been through that before. Everybody here, whether it was a part-time gig, side hustle, or full-time job, we've all been through it. And, I'm actually thinking about a conversation I had with Andrew Hallam, who is also known as the Millionaire Teacher, and he was talking about his book Balance. And he was basically talking about how, there's a certain set point where you can make a certain amount of money, and that the more you make, it doesn't necessarily make you any happier. As a matter of fact, it could make you less happy, because in order to be making a certain amount of money, you have to be working a lot harder than you probably would have at another particular salary range. You're out there making $300,000, $400,000 a year, $250,000 a year. You're probably working a very stressful job, a job where a lot of people are depending on your decisions every day. We get decision fatigue when you got so many people that's looking towards you, and your decisions impact and affect an entire organization. And a poor decision will negatively and vastly impact a large group of individuals. That can be taxing. And a lot of time, those are the jobs where you don't necessarily have any peace after you clock out for the day. You go home, you're literally on the clock 24/7. Things happen, 4 in the morning or 12:30 a.m. It's still on your clock, because you might not necessarily be at your workplace, but you are the person who is getting paid the highest amount of money. And as Notorious B.I.G. said, more money, more problems. And that's what he was talking about. Like, and just because you are the head honcho, or just because you are making a big amount of money, does not mean that you're going to be exempt from any toxicity that comes along with your job. So now, even put that back to somebody who might be making $30,000 or $40,000, $50,000 a year in a toxic position. Maybe it is a little easier for them to get a job making similar money. Maybe it's not. It just really depends on the skill set, the experience. There's so many things that are involved in the whole process. Well, ultimately, when all things are said and done, I think it's important to really prepare yourself. So I have interviewed Julian and Kirsten Saunders from Rich and Regular, and one thing that we talked about was their book, Cashing Out. And in Cashing Out, it really talks about properly preparing yourself, getting yourself ready to make your exit when it's the time. It allows for flexibility. Never be married to a job, no matter how important you think you are, no matter how great your superiors tell you that you're performing, no matter how great the data looks. You can be gone in a heartbeat. You could be gone in a New York minute. Regardless, it doesn't matter. There's no such thing really as loyalty and commitment with these jobs. you have to understand that, and you have to always be planning your exit. You always have to be flexible. And when I say planning your exit, that doesn't mean like you're telling yourself, I'm going to leave next year. You do need to tell yourself, I would be prepared to leave on January 1st, 2024, if I had to, if a better opportunity presented itself, or if we get a new boss in the job and this boss is moving in a direction that I don't necessarily agree with. This boss is causing me more stress than I've ever been used to. Then you're prepared to leave, and so you need to start taking those steps now to have the ability to have the option to cash out. That's the end of the game, right? The end of the game is cashing out on your terms. You know, would you rather be in a position of where you're forced out unexpectedly and you're scrambling, or would you rather be in a position of where you kind of sense things coming, or even if you don't sense things coming, you have that backup plan, you are completely ready. You have the money in the bank, you have the resume ready, you have properly prepared yourself for that next opportunity, and you know that when you get that next opportunity, you're going to shine. And then when you get that next opportunity, you're going to be preparing yourself for the next opportunity. That's it. That's how you get out of a toxic work environment, is by preparing yourself ahead of time. Prepare yourself ahead of time and make sure ultimately that you are not becoming the toxicity that you are complaining about, because that's very easy to do. It's very easy to fall into these negative situations. It's very easy to become the one that everybody else at the job is running away from, because you are pulling everybody down, and that's the last thing you want to do. So if you are ever at that point, it's really time to start preparing to leave. Okay, but that's it. Just wanted to holler at you guys about that real quick. In order to leave a toxic work environment, the most important thing is that you're actually prepared to leave that toxic work environment, and then you need to, you know, get to the point where you are ready to leave, to where leaving is not the most, you know, scary thing that you could think about. The most scary thing you could think about is not being prepared to exit when it is time to exit. But that's it. Hey, if you are in a toxic work environment, if you have been in a toxic work environment and you want to share your experience, I would love to hear it in the comments below. Appreciate you guys. If this is your first time watching, please like and subscribe and share. If you have been one of the day ones, I really appreciate it. Please continue to view the content and share the content as well. All right. I appreciate you guys. Y'all take it easy. All right. One love.